All right. What the hell is going on, everybody? And welcome back. It's the ESL EU Finals Week 222. Clem in the top right, as always, up against MAXPAX in the bottom left. Let's be real, guys. If Reyna's not playing, it's always these two playing in the finals, almost every week. It's basically the best Protoss and best Terran in Europe clashing every single week. And let's be real, the stats do not lie. Clem wins 2 for every 1 that he loses, historically, if we take the all-time. But I think the stats are about accurate for recently. I do feel like Clem on the new patch, he picked things up so quickly. He 3-0'd MAXPAX the day the patch dropped in that show match I held. And he basically has just been very good at not just attacking, but also defending. And this is what surprised me, is we've seen in the previous week and the week before that, not just Clem, but also, who we got? We got Maru, Bjorn. I don't know if Hero Marine or anyone else has done it, but at least those two have been turtling against Protoss. Basically playing 3 command center and just defending and trying to get to late game. And there has been a weakness of MAXPAX in that late game where he does not really make Storm and often doesn't make Sky Toss either. He usually tries to just win with like Gateway Disruptor, which, I don't know. I feel like Harstem might actually be better at that than him, which is a weird thing to say. But I feel like Harstem is a pretty big expert at winning with Stalker Disruptor and the DT backstabs. It's given Clem some real runs for his money over the past. Now that shield battery's going to go down. Dude, this micro, he keeps dodging. He keeps dodging the projectiles, and now he's going to bounce the bloody Stalker as well. Oh my god. So he should focus the bunker on the battery, though. Clem! He messed up his micro. He got way too fancy there and stopped shooting the battery. So Clem just basically way overdid the micro and let that battery survive with 30 hit points for way too long. Big mistake for Clem. Unnecessarily fancy. There was no need to pop the Reapers out, just the SCV. Popping the SCV in and out dodges the Stalker shots. It just prolongs your ability to keep repairing and waste a lot of time. Here we go, guys. Marine and Reaper is there. Ooh! Oh god, Stalker's taking damage. Reaper there, trying to bounce around. The Marine does go down as well. Reaper's going to pull back. All right, Stargate's there. We've got a Gateway coming in. Pylon does go down on the natural. Reaper, Marine, Cyclone going to be pulling back. So we've got a second barracks going down behind us. Third gas. Clem keeping up the pressure with no shield battery. This is really bad. If that Cyclone locks on, good pullback. MAXPAX with 2 Stalkers, he can beat this, but he needs to break the lock-ons. Using the ramp for vision is great. Clem, happy to pick off a few probes. Can he get the Stalker? Not quite. MAXPAX punishes him by getting rid of the Cyclone. Oh, he does lose a Stalker, though. Nice focus fire for Clem. 3 probes and a Stalker, not to mention mining time. I think that's well worth it for Clem. I feel like Clem here, even though his expansion's delayed, he's losing units at a similar rate. He's disrupting MAXPAX massively. I mean, MAXPAX right now has a North American Oracle. You might be wondering, what's a North American Oracle? A North American Oracle is an Oracle that is macroed out of one of the worst openings you've ever seen, so it's 2 minutes later than an Oracle should ever be arriving. Now, the advantage of the North American Oracle is it's very surprising, because no one at 4.5 minutes in the game is thinking, oh, he might have gone Stargate. No. You're thinking, if an Oracle hasn't arrived yet, an Oracle is not going to arrive. It's going to be it's going to be, Twilight, it's going to be Robo, it's going to be all that standard stuff. Oracle's going to float into the main base right now as well. Banshee's there. Oh, let's do it. Gets himself an SCV, number 1. The Marines are going to have to move up here. Oh, there is a Cyclone actually on the low ground. So Oracle grabs himself 1, 2. Only 2 workers. A bit careful with the Oracle, almost like he was worried about there being a Widow Mine somewhere hidden in between the mineral patches or behind the gas. But as long as you don't lose that Oracle, that's fine. He's now going Blink and a Phoenix. Ah, yeah, Phoenix is to shut down Banshees. Cloaked Banshee is useless against Oracle Phoenix. Oracle Phoenix shuts it right down. Banshee comes in, but oh, MAXPAX doesn't see it yet. His Oracle's in the wrong position. It's down there to the bottom right of his base. He's going to lose 3 or 4 probes. Banshee is caught out of position here. Oracle should tag it. There we go. He's going to get 1 more. Make it 2. Yep. Hey, 5 probes ain't too bad for a single Banshee. The other one, though, has to just hide and then hope to come in much later to catch him off guard. Behind this, 3 barracks are up. He's got the factory and the starport going. The engineering bay is there as well. Forge is almost finished. Marines trying to pull back as well. Tanks trying to siege in multiple areas. We've got stim and shields on the way. Lots of Marines building. Stalkers moving to the left. +1 attack has started for MAXPAX. He's got the third up. It does feel like he's got a better position, just map control-wise. Especially with stim and shields not being finished. Medevacs not being started yet. Clem doesn't have a lot of mobility. He's kind of forced to build a third command center. If Clem doesn't start a third soon, he might be in trouble. Ooh, blinks on the Cyclone and one-shots it. Oh, stim! Oh, no, the delayed stim was already a problem. MAXPAX is all over him. MAXPAX is all over Clem in this series, man. Oh, me oh my. Oh, ow, 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 ow. Wait, there's another new patch. There's someone in chat. I'm not sure how much they've been around. It came out a month ago now? 3 weeks? You guys let me know. When did the patch come out? I'm very bad with timescales. It's still the new patch in my head, even though we've had quite a few weeks of tournaments on it, including, you know, GSL from about halfway through is when it kicked in. Now, a couple Stalkers did go down, but having the stim timing reset like that does really hurt. Now, what's interesting is Clem immediately cancelled combat shields and started stim because he said it's the more important upgrade. And then he started combat shields down here because that takes less time to upgrade. So it'll still link up, and he just doesn't want to move out until he's got both upgrades. So that's actually a really smart little adjustment. Damn, Sascreamer, thank you so much for the support, mate. Really appreciate the love, those on the live stream today. Third command center building in the back. As I said, Clem doesn't have many options. He has to build that third command center. Without stim and shields, you can't move out against Protoss. Now, to be fair, we've got charge zealots and nothing else. Like, you've got 6 gas, but your robo's only now coming up. So it does feel like MAXPAX himself has stayed on very low tech. He's got 15 Stalkers, a Sentry, and a few Zealots. He's got 8 gateways. He's starting Immortals. A Dark Shrine goes down pre-Robo Bay? Okay, this is really weird. It feels like MAXPAX doesn't want to tech up too hard because he thinks there's no command center. But as he sees these SCVs, I expect a Robo Bay to go down the moment he pulls away from this fight. Oh, losing 2 Stalkers, losing 3. Let's focus on Marauder down at least. Gets a few Marines, maybe worth it. Clem punishing him though. So many Stalkers going down. This is costly. Units lost tab, as you can see, is in favor of MAXPAX overall, but that's accounting for things like Banshees, Cyclones, Reapers, Bunkers, Tech Labs and Reactors and SCVs that got sniped. The actual Marine Marauder tank against Stalker has gone very well for Clem. Second Forge, second Robo's on the way. Robo Bay as well. That pylon is blocking a Nexus from being taken down there, by the way. I wonder if he intended to build a Nexus there and blocked himself. If so, that's a little uncomfortable. Ghost Academy is halfway done, man. Okay, so we've got 5 barracks just pumping out Biotank. No sign of an armory. Ghost Academy coming in. I think Clem is committed to 1-1. I don't think he's going to macro too much deeper, but as I say that, he gets jumped on. Oh, that was a good little fight there for MAXPAX. It's funny how Clem, the moment the tank fires and MAXPAX turns around, he chases. Clem's one of these guys where he can be in a bad fight, but the moment his opponent turns around and shows they want to disengage, he'll chase them. Clem is the man where if he's faced in a corridor, he finds himself locked in a tight corridor, no exits, there's a gorilla there, he will start running away like any smart person. The gorilla runs towards him. He definitely runs away. But the moment the gorilla turns around, he's just going to be like, oh, I guess I'm the stronger one. And he will run after it and attack it. And he's so good with his micro at moving in, moving out at the right times, picking off units. It actually pays off in a big way. Clem's speed is second to none. Even though his current APM may not look that high or is average at 360, trust me, it is incredibly efficient and he is doing so much with that. Apparently 26th of March is when it came out, so we're coming up on a month, about 3 weeks. Patch has been out. Forcefield's trapping a few Marines. MAXPAX with some good map control, but I'd like to see Colossus out and actually double Robo into triple. Ooh, Zealot drop gets in the back. Nice, Zealot drop in the back. EMP plus Vikings, though, shoot down the Prism. As long as he runs his SCVs, Clem shouldn't take too much damage. Looks like he's already cleaned up his natural, but on the front, oh god, you don't want to lose your tanks on the front. You got to leave some Marauders there. Zealots go after the reactor and the engineering bay. They will get the reactor on the starport, which isn't bad. On the left side, Stalkers blink to the high ground and start being annoying. Could use some force fields there, maybe. The Colossus plus force fields from the low ground. Wow, that's cool. but Clem with a hot pickup saves a pack of those units. 7 SCVs do go down. Nexus in the top left side is almost finished for MAXPAX. He's got +1 armor here. I like that Blink DT is already finished as well. I think he meant to chrono boost maybe the Forge there. So I can't imagine he meant to chrono boost a single gateway. 3 disruptors are building at a time. Ooh, Sneaky Ball does get caught out on the left side of the map. +2 attacks on the way. Armory in second eBay. Clem's willing to play a longer game. 5th command center as well. So Clem's just going to turtle. He's going to turtle this out to late game. And this is exactly the sort of situation I was talking about where MAXPAX doesn't really transition to late game. As I say that, +1 air weapons and second Stargate goes down. So maybe he is. He might actually transition to late game this time around. Normally he's a big fan of running around with the Robo Army and trying to pick at his opponent. I think his best bet in this sort of position against a very tank-heavy Terran is you want to lead with your tanks. You know, Revelate with the Oracle, poke forward, 2 disruptor shots, kill a tank, pull back. Rotate around here, pick away at him with disruptors. +2 armors on the way for ground, +1 air weapons, 3 disruptors building. Now, when you go air, if you want to go Tempest, you absolutely need to make Storm. If you make carriers, you should probably make Storm as well. So actually, the other day I was talking to MAXPAX about this, and I've talked to him, and he said, you know, I am a bit stubborn. I think I probably should start learning how to do it. I really get so focused and set on trying to win with disruptors. And I'm like, dude, disruptors are the better unit, like, in general. But it's just once you get, like, maxed on 7 bases, there's no reason not to go for Storm. I don't think we're at that point yet, to be fair. I mean, he does have Rich Gas in the top left, 85 probes, but he's not maxed out. Just building a few more Stargates. So he's going to go for a 4 Stargate transition, 2 Warp Prisms building. Dude, okay, MAXPAX. I mean, he's been given the whole map, right? And this is the thing I've been criticizing Terrans for, is just turtling up all game. I think in this case, Clem was a little behind, so it makes more sense to try and turtle up to recover. But I don't enjoy when the player goes directly for this direction, because I think it gives up way too much space for the Protoss to kind of pick and choose what they want to do in the game. Disruptor Shot gets a Ghost and a Marauder, clips the tank as well, but you want to start using those Disruptor Shots in pairs. And this is something I don't think MAXPAX has played much against siege tanks, whereas some of the older players have played for many years against siege tank Terran that's a lot more turtly. So I do wonder if MAXPAX is going to know about this. I mean, even, was it Atlanta 2022, Hero tried to throw a few games against Maru by just not transitioning. And then after throwing a game like that, or almost throwing one, the next game he just went for tons of disruptors and just kept picking at the tanks from afar, and it looked so powerful. When the Terran's just sitting there and you can just walk up and drop disruptors like he just did to cancel that command center, it can be incredibly effective. Trades a couple Stalkers for a tank. Not a directly cost-efficient trade. Yeah, I think in this scenario, you just want to keep picking off these buildings with the disruptors. You don't want to throw your army away, man. I mean, he gets rid of the sensor tower. That's something. He's bleeding out a lot of units. Double Prism gets in the top right. MAXPAX there. He's building Tempest and Dark Templar. Zealots and DTs in the back of the base. DTs running in on the front as well. Got plenty of units on the front to defend. It's the main base where he's in trouble. This is where Clem needs to get more army. He does take out the War Prism. The Vikings will land to help out with a scan and EMP. And a Viking land. He'll be just fine. Tempest out on the left side of the map. You definitely need Psystorm to back up Tempests, because the Terran's going to jump on you with Vikings, and Storm is what does massive splash damage to both air and ground. It's weak to EMP, but good luck running forward a Ghost and EMPing without getting killed by Tempest Disruptor. So it's a dance back and forwards. You just need to make sure you get the Storm and spread those High Templar out. Something which, you know, actually, this was from last week, this replay. So I wonder, maybe MAXPAX doesn't even make this. I think I had the discussion with him maybe 3 days ago from casting this, and I think this was about a week ago. So this is pre-Storm discussion. So I wonder if he's actually gonna try it out. I haven't seen him play any late game PvT since then, so I don't know if he's actually adopted the Storm or not. But I do imagine we're going to see him experimenting with it, since we had a bit of a chat about it, and he kind of seemed to agree that there are big strengths to it. He's just not had the time to really perfect that style yet. DT's in the bottom right, have to run away. This army's picking around, but just remember, the moment the Vikings jump on top, those Tempests will fall apart. They're made out of paper mache. They're very fragile. You can just kick them once and they... Oh, God, exactly like that. No, no, no. Disruptors go out, 3 shots stacked on top of each other. The ground army's being kept back, but there's nothing to defend the Tempest and the Colossus from the Vikings. Another disruptor shot comes forward, Clem spreads, and he's just not taking any big disruptor shots, only losing 1 or 2 units to each. Stalker's finally come forward, but he's lost so many of his units. The Colossus taking big damage as well. Massive win for Clem. And he's now ahead 3,500 resources, and the units lost. Not bad at all. DTs are rotating the top left. This is a great move. If he runs in and blinks on these pack of Zealots and DTs, kills the tanks, he might be able to clear that planetary. So he needs to rotate this army to the right side and try to get damage done there. +2 air weapons is almost done. He's swapping into carrier production now, realizing he needs something with a little bit more staying power. Oh, disruptors! MAXPAX! Oh, gosh, he leaves himself hanging out yet again. Does lose himself a disruptor. Almost loses a second and a third. Army on the right side. Ooh, catches a few of these guys. Hello. MAXPAX supply is very much tied up in probes. He's up 10 workers. He's got these DTs on the top left. A couple of observers on the map as well. Oh, disruptors in the open again! Huge mistake for MAXPAX. And this is the sort of scenario, if you have any storm around, you can storm to keep this army back. But without Sunny Storm, Clem just dives on top. And MAXPAX is just not playing safe with his army or his vision. Those disruptors should have been behind the army, not in front of it. And if they get caught out, your army needs to be quick to move in front and intercept and protect them. DT counterattack comes in, takes out that siege tank. He will take out the turret on that third base. But how the heck is he going to get enough defense? He's got 3 disruptors and 3 carriers building at once, but MAXPAX has lost a base and so much money. He's got a big bank. If he can crack through at all, Clem does not have a lot of room to breathe. The problem is Clem's getting mass orbital. Clem's building the Iron Bank. For those who don't know, the Iron Bank of Bravos. Many say warfare is decided by great generals and tactics. The Iron Bank begs to differ because they realize it's almost always all about economics. Those who have the Iron Bank backing them, they are basically destined to win because they can afford more troops, better equipment, more supplies. They can hire mercs when needed. And the opponent simply cannot keep up in a long war. They do not have as much tactical nor strategic flexibility because of that. The Iron Bank in StarCraft terms, of course, is when you get to 7 or more orbital command centers. If you get to like 10 or more, it's even better. That's where you have unlimited scans for vision, you have unlimited mules to boost your economy, and if you get up to 10, 12 orbitals, you can even start to throw SCVs away and replace them with mules and say, hey, I don't even need SCVs in my army anymore. I can have an even bigger force, all of my active supply dedicated to army. My opponent's going to be on 80 workers, I'll be on 40 workers. We'll have the same income, but I have 40 more army supply, which is absolutely ridiculous. Trying to take the top left base now is MAXPAX. Still no Storm in the mix. It's a disaster, mate. Oh, his disruptors get caught out once again. Libs sieging up. Vikings do come forward. Bit of a weird fight for Clem. Not a massive amount of anti-air. I feel like if it was 6 carriers with +3, they'd wreck this. There's only a few Ghosts, a few Vikings, a few Libs, but right now it's just 3 carriers with +2. Does take out a siege tank. The Libs, though, are getting mighty close. Marauder Marine Ghost Viking coming forward. That Nexus taking a bit of damage. If he wants to defend it, he has to go now. He can't wait any longer. It's about to go down. And there we go. MAXPAX decides to commit. I think he can clear this army. Clem, only a small part of his forces are down here right now. And you can see he abandons the Liberators. Stutter steps away, dropping EMPs where he can. I think he should probably be picking up. That's a lot of Zealot Stalker. Honestly, I wouldn't have minded him keeping those Zealots chasing. There's so little Terran there. But 12,000 resources lost. You're kidding me. 12,000 lost difference? Oh, man. MAXPAX is getting hammered in this late game. With so many EMP, can you really get a Storm off? If you use F2? No. If you're a player who doesn't know how to use control groups, no. But if you're MAXPAX, this man knows how to micro. You're meant to spread those High Templar out. You don't keep them in a ball like you do your Disruptors. You spread your High Templar out, and they are the best unit for the late game. They're incredible. Dude, is he actually going to get damage? Oh, his Disruptors go a bit far forward. Planetary does some damage to him. This is kind of a desperate counter push for MAXPAX. 3 more carriers are on the way. 5 carriers out, +3 is about to finish. The Vikings coming in from multiple sides. Clem just needs to back up and gather his forces. He's actually down on army supply right now. Oh, he gets a carrier. Sneaky carrier snipe. Tries to get another one, but he's actually not got enough to shoot. This is a big mistake for Clem. Engaging before he has the critical Viking count could really cost him, but the Stalkers are stuck behind each other. They're not quite in range of the Vikings, so the terrain does work to his advantage a little bit. All but 2 of the carriers have gone down. Even though it was an awkward fight for Clem, I think it was good enough with that orbital blocking. He dodges that last disruptor shot. Remember that MAXPAX economy has been shredded. His massive bank advantage is gone. He's down 11,000 resources in the units lost. Oof. So this is what people don't realize is with Storm, you're not like, I'm going to run up and storm your whole army. You scatter them around the map. And you're going to notice, every time Protoss gets in trouble in late game PvT, they get caught out of position and Terran army dives on them. That's not, oh, I'm EMPing you slowly and methodically. It's, I'm sieging libs on your face. I'm jumping Vikings forward. And you're always able to use zoning storms in those scenarios and to hit storms on them if they rush forward. So what High Templar do is they force the Terran to move very slowly and methodically. And that means if they're waiting for EMPs before they move forward, Tempests are picking off units. You know, Disruptors are having more time to pick off units. So what it does is it limits people's mobility. And this is the kind of minor edges you look for in really high-level StarCraft. It's not like, I make this unit, it has to kill all of their units that do this. Sometimes all you're doing is forcing your opponent to play differently, and Storm, as a threat, limits what the Terran can do. This is the move I'm talking about. Storm here would be massive, but instead he's getting jumped on again. Storm on those libs, Vikings, Medevacs, it's the only splash damage that hits air and ground for Protoss, and it's so good. Because every time you see a Protoss lose these fights drastically, it's a lack of Psy Storm. I know I'm on my preacher box right now, but I feel vindicated saying this because even MAXPAX agrees with me. We had to talk about it, even after this game was played. And he was like, yeah, I've been a bit stubborn. I really should. I was expecting to have to like debate with him. And instead we just kind of both shared our thoughts on what's good about them and when you should try to transition to them. And that was nice. It was just a very short chat, but it's interesting to see. It's not me just kind of going, mind the forward bases out, you know, making fun of the Zergs that didn't know how to play against Turtle Terran for a long time. Viking Lib, Ghost going to the right side as well. Ooh. Stalker's coming forward. There's Ghost there. Ghost Marauder, Viking Lib dancing around right now. +3 ship weapons, +2 armor, and a nuke being called in on the south. MAXPAX is going to try and force the fight, but he's getting kited to death. That nuke is going to land on not much stuff. Big fight in the middle is probably more important. We'll watch that. Time Warp goes down on nothing. The Mothership Cloak does, I believe, I think it's going to get used at some point, I guess, if it hasn't already. But that Mothership itself is getting focused down. Trying to jump on top. Clem still up in army supply, just kiting backwards. The Interceptors are kind of scary right now. The Libs get on top. The Viking Lib actually starting to clear through the carriers. The carrier count is falling. The Marines and the Ghosts doing okay. The Interceptors are getting blasted. And MAXPAX has to tap out. GG, well played. Clem sitting in his corner for a good 15 minutes of that game, but showing he's got what it takes to win the late game. All right, nice game one for Clem. I don't know if the early game was that great for him, but he just looked confident in the late game. And the stutter step, the EMPs, the Vikings, the Lib usage, all good. MAXPAX, I think lack of Storm was big, but maybe just get more done earlier, you know? There was just a few fights where he left his Disruptors hanging out, and if he doesn't do that, he could definitely drive wedges in between Clem's bases and wear him down, because he had such a big money advantage. Finding a way to leverage that money advantage without just throwing your units into the meat grinder is always the tricky bit. People in chat, we were just talking about Civilization. I've gone on a bit of a Civ binge and gone back to playing some Civ 6 recently. Very addictive game. People are saying Civ 5 beats Civ 6. I've heard people say that. I wouldn't mind going and playing it just to try a different experience. I mean, there's a lot of other 4X games that I've heard great things about over the last years, like Humankind and all this sort of stuff. So definitely, I don't know, man. I'm enjoying 4X games at the moment quite a lot in my non-StarCraft time. I think it's grinding a lot of StarCraft as well. Turn-based games become very enjoyable, you know, as your break game away from the intensity of the speed of StarCraft. But it is interesting. Civ 7 was decent. I mean, Civ 6 came in like 2016, so you'd think they'll make one at some point. They're pretty monstrous projects to make, though. They take a lot of dev time. Apparently it was teased. We might get an announcement for a Civ 7 sometime this year, really? Oh, that's cool. That's exciting. Interesting to see which way they go. Double gas opening for Clem. No SCV scout for him. MAXPAX goes in for a light harass before backing away with the probe. Stable, solid openings. You know, if Clem didn't open Reaper so much, I really would probably complain about MAXPAX never going Nexus before Core. But since he's so commonly against Clem, and Clem almost always goes straight away for that early Reaper, doesn't really mix in gas first much, doesn't go for Marine first all that often recently at least. There was a while, right? Maybe 3 weeks ago actually, at the start of the patch, he was going Marine first a ton into the Quick Factory, but lately he's been back on the Reaper hype train. A lot of people tuning in and wondering what the event is. I believe it's all in the stream title, but ESL Weekly 222 EU Grand Finals. Been meaning to cast this one for a few days, but it's been busy with GSL and all sorts of other things to cast, so happy we finally got on this one. Oh! Nice little dance there. Clem's very good at damaging Adepts and sometimes even killing them. The Reaper has 5 range, the Adept has 4. Normally you can't really out-micro a unit that only has 1 less range than you. Clem, of course, is the exception to rules like that. Normally you can't do this because it's way too hard and requires way too sensitive micro. Obviously, Clem is always the one who... Oh my god, he's going to get a probe as well. Oh, this is so frustrating. Dude, and he just killed an Adept with a Cyclone at the same time. He just killed an Adept with a Cyclone, gets a probe and mining time. Finally loses it, but what a nuisance to play against, dude. Clem's a... I mean... I'm not being rude to Clem. Playing against Clem in PvT is like... It's really douchey, man. He just... It feels like he's doing everything you don't want him to do. Yeah, let me know your recommendations for 4X games, guys. I do think someone said Terra Invictor is the best 4X game they've ever played. Nice. Gotta try it. Gotta try it out. Try it out. I'm home here now. Anyway, 3 gateways or robo. So 3 gate Blink's very safe, especially after a bit of a messy start, losing an Adept and whatnot. I like that MAXPAX is playing safe here because we see 3 racks with a factory. This looks a lot like the Oliveira build, the China build, the Coffee build originally, but Oliveira gets credit. Sorry, Coffee. You beat it. You know, Jaishi a few times and a few of the other Chinese Protoss players with it. Oliveira won a world championship against guys like Hero with it, which is why he gets credit. I apologize, Coffee. I know you were one of the first ones to do it. But the 3 racks factory, where you delay the starport in the engineering bay massively to just get an insane amount of bio. Now, you don't have healing with this build, so I actually saw a really cool variation Coffee himself did the other day. Was it Coffee or XY? So it's XY, I think. And basically... Oh, it was one of those two. I can't remember which one. I was casting the Asia regionals the other day for ESL Spring. He went concussive instead of stim because you don't have metavacs. He's like, well, I don't ever want to stim, and I'm going to go Marauder heavy. So he was actually going stim, concussive and shields, and only then making stim afterwards. Now, MAXPAX has missed this army. Oh, gosh. Oh, no. What a dumb way to lose. Oh, no. He's just... Oh, gosh. This is so awkward. If he saw that army, he could have picked off so many units. He does get in here with a lot of Stalkers, but oh my gosh, he's going to realize right now, oh no, I've been tricked. And this is going to give Clem all the time he needs to get set up. Marauders will get another... Stalkers will get another Marauder on the way back. 2 Marauders, 2 Marines is not bad. He's not recalling, interestingly. I guess that gives him a nice flank. He will be able to flank from both sides. If he can shut this down, this still might be good. He's lost his 3rd base, which he did not want to do. Nice hot pickups with that Prism. Very good Prism micro, guys. Oh, the Prism micro blinks in aggressively, uses the Prism to save the units. Blinks on the Marauder as well. Clem tries to make the most of it by focusing down a few probes. Dude, that Clem focus fire. A lot of players would have lost all those without getting more than 1 or 2 probes. But look at that. Actually efficient trading for MAXPAX. Problem is he's taken so much economic damage. He needs to go swing to the other side. Where's the bunker? Oh, Clem! Clem! He didn't raise his depots that whole time. So he needs to... Okay, so Clem should not be sieging his tanks apart. He needs a tank here and a tank here. Maybe even on the ramp. Tanks are really far apart. It's a big mistake. Huge mistake for Clem. Remember, guys, the rule of defending in these scenarios is you want to have your buildings here, creating a wall, which he didn't do. That tank's so easy to snipe in the main, number 1. Number 2, the tanks aren't covering each other. So you can fight 1 tank at a time and say, thank you very much, Terran, for having bad positioning. Well, you know what? The Marauders scared him back. It might be fine. It might be fine. MAXPAX is in huge trouble, though. He's got a DT on the way, so that's Desperation Dark Train. He's going to try and probably do the DT drop when Clem moves out with his big stim push and medevacs and stuff. 3rd command center building. Starport's going to swap into the reactor when he gets a chance. 4 gas is up. There's no engineering bay until now. Just starting +1. Tank gets caught moving forward. Ooh, doesn't die though, dude. This is bad for MAXPAX. MAXPAX is down in workers. He's down in supply. He didn't see the army moving across the map, and even though he somehow managed to trade efficiently, losing the third base and economy, being stuck on 2 base versus 2 base against Terran is a disaster. The fact that there's a new observer is really nice. Clem really should be scanning this bad boy. There we go. It's more visible when it goes in surveillance mode these days, guys. So if you do want to hide it, you need to go put it on top of a piece of high ground or over some kind of throbbing plants? I don't know what you want to call this stuff down here. Some weird wriggly coral plus throbbing lumps. Let's be honest. There's no other way to describe that. I tried. Don't be gross, pig. Oh, why are you so... They're throbbing lumps. Describe it better, please. I don't know what else to call that. Protuberances? Bloody... They're throbbing. There's no... They're having a little thrum. Like, that is absolutely weird. The terrain... I mean, we are on the ocean floor, on Oceanborn, so fair enough. Double Drop's going to sneak out the left side. We've got a Dark Templar sneaking in the main. Let's see if these DTs can find the magic. Does he have a scan? Oh, God, he doesn't have a scan. He will have scans, 3 of them, in the next 30 seconds. Oh, he's trying to trap the Stalkers, but he's coming too close. Dude, if he accidentally... The idea is to attack from 2 sides at once and trap those Stalkers. DT in the main does get 5 SCVs before going down. Turret does build there, but a new DT is ready to come in. Bio comes in from behind. He's going to grab a Stalker, but not the big sandwich that you're hoping for. Ideally, you come from the front, and then they blink back into these units. Because if they've just used blink, then they get really screwed. New DT comes in, gets 3 SCVs before it goes down. Prism just chilling on the right side of the main and getting away with it. There are 4 medevacs out, so a Viking is a no-brainer. You need to get rid of that Warp Prism. There's a DT and an Observer over here. MAXPAX has got himself back to a really nice economy. He's on 6 gas. He's got 67 workers. He's thinking about a 4th base since his main's half mined out. Problem, he has no splash. Like, MAXPAX army sucks right now. If Clem pushes him, he's gonna die. He's losing Stalkers in the middle of the map. His DT inside the main is hitting some units, but only a matter of time until they scan to get rid of that. He's gonna stop muling. You don't want this DT to do too much damage. Clem struggling a little bit here. Oh gosh, actually loses a few Marauders and Marines. Look at that. Whee! Prism does recall over on the right side. Looks like another Observer just got picked off. Maybe it was a DT. Are we still not scanning to get rid of this? Guys, he's got a scan, but he's just leaving a DT in his main. This is bizarre. I think he's hoping it'll run into turret range. Storm's on the way. It's so delayed, though. This is such a late Storm. It's 10 minutes, and he's finally getting Storm. Clem could kill him right now. Anytime before Storm finishes, there was no way for MAXPAX to deal with his army. He has a handful of Stalkers and Zealots against a giant bio tank army. Unfortunately for Clem, he moves out just after Storm finishes. That DT is still there. He never dealt with it. He never dealt with this Dark Templar, and that is a bit of a... Not just a bit of it, it's a big mistake. There we go. He's going to try and surround with SCVs. The DT is like, dude, I can take on like 1 billion SCVs. Stalkers in the middle. Another 2 Stalkers go down, though. Feels like those Stalker losses, 11 of them going down this game, is really stacking up. The bunker will draw aggro. Nice move. Nice move there for Clem. There's still a DT in his main. How is this possible? The Marauders and the Marines will finally get rid of it. Concussive shells did get made this game. Zealots are there as well. You do not want to burrow your Widow Mines or they'll end up killing all your own SCVs. The Zealots trying to pick off what they can. Massive Storm ambush in the middle of the map. Does get big damage on the Terran army, but he loses a lot of his units as well. Oh, jeez. Oh, Clem chases into Storm. He chases into Storm. Clem, a little bit ambitious there. He's going to go back and heal now, which is absolutely the right call. There's a 4th base up. MAXPAX somehow has a 4th base up with a 5th starting. He's really bought himself so much time with his DT distraction. Feels like Clem here making an unforced error by leaving that DT in his main. Just distracted him so much. Do we have any more High Templar behind this? We don't. These are the only 4 High Templar. I think there's 3 Storms left. I do think he warped them in long enough ago that they should have an extra Storm available. He just unloaded them to check their energy. Now, he's got a few more High Templar on the front. I definitely want to see more splash damage in here. He's only got 1 Robo. His first Colossus starts. But he's on 5 bases, whereas Clem's only just started his 4th. And it does feel like Clem is so oddly defensive lately, right? It's not just me who looks at these Terran games recently and goes weirdly turtly. Like, there were points where a month ago Terran would have just shoved and they're being like, oh no, I've got to sit back. And I'm like, but why? Ooh, good Storm. Clem just walks right through it. Doesn't lose any units, but Widow Mine Drop goes in. Only 3 probes going down. MAXPAX, he's buying space for himself. His first Colossus will get out onto the map. Ghosts are coming in. Second Engineering Bay and Armory does go down. Clem saves his Widowmine drop, keeps that one down the bottom of the map. Yet another Observer goes down. That's 3 Observers. Remember, Observers do build quicker than they used to. He's on 80 probes. I'd love to see MAXPAX get extra Robos. MAXPAX also would love to see himself have extra Robos, so he does react. Still not building... Okay, I was going to say still not building a cannon in every mineral line would be a weird choice, but he does now do so. These Stalkers can drag those Widowmine shots as long as he blink micros, but a little late on that. Does lose a Stalker, not the end of the world. Great Storm again, Clem! Poof! Obviously, the ghosts are starting to grow. There's only 3 of them, 2 more coming. +2 attacks on the way, no +2 armor. Meanwhile, so that's 1 upgrades, starting round 2. +3's halfway done for Protoss. +2 has started. Second Robo's getting ready. I don't know, man. I feel like MAXPAX has gone from a very compromised position straight to a strong position without Clem really contesting him. Those Storms don't do much at all. Those Storms tickle a few units. The Archon Colossus does okay. It's a big Zealot Warp in, though. That's a massive Zealot Warp, and he's got 12 Gate Zealot. Mass Zealot coming in from the right as well. Those units weren't here earlier, but they are here now with the Colossus there. Only 1 Archon is left alive. Can he overwhelm Clem? Clem barely trying to hang on. Started stepping very nicely. The Colossus doing some great damage to that wounded Bio. He's got a full bunker on the left. It's mostly SCVs, though. Not actually fighting units. Oh, Widowmines do take out a bunch of those Zealots. Another massive warp in, though. 2 Colossus, an Archon, 12 Zealots in a Dream. And that is exactly all he needs right now because Clem's army is so bruised. He can't defend that third. Or can he? I didn't think he could, but that Bio Ball is somehow still all alive. 2,000 resource lost advantage for Clem. 2 more Colossus building, though, right now for MAXPAX. And having Storm left over from the early stages, I told you guys that I really feel like MAXPAX never going Storm in late game is an issue. Well, this time he went Storm as a comeback tool in the early game. And that means he's going to have it for the rest of this game. So I actually love this because I feel like as long as he just keeps mixing Storm in with Colossus, Immortals, Disruptors, it is so very powerful. That being said, a lot of players, for simplicity's sake, do choose to not make Disruptors and Storm. And the reason is it's hard to manage 2 spellcasters, especially when you've got sentries in your main army using Guardian Shield. Now, a lot of people will say, oh, well, is it really that hard? These are pros. And I would say, don't get me wrong, they can do it, but they're going to focus on doing what they feel most comfortable with and they feel they can execute perfectly. So a lot of the time, it's not always about, like, a lot of pros don't have as much range as you might expect, but they are deep experts within a certain set of skills. That's what's given them success, so they've worked on it more and more until they become an even deeper expert in it, and sometimes you almost abandon other skill sets. So some players just never use 2 spellcasters. Here we go, Storm going down that right side. Nice Storm on the Vikings, softening them up. Oh, another great Storm on the Vikings. If the Stalkers could finish those Vikings off, well, he doesn't even need to because he's actually just broken through. Clem just has nothing left on the ground. MAXPAX. That was a rough early game, but he fights back so well. All right. Clem in the bottom left side of the map. And MAXPAX in the top right is bringing out the memes on Dynasty. It's Nexus before Cybercore. And it's on the reverse side of the gold. Now, don't get me wrong. The Reaper can still jump up here and harass your workers from inside your main base, essentially. But this way you get a rich gas purple and a full mineral base, which is insanely effective. Now, Clem is going for a double gas build where he can just rally Reaper Hellion or Cyclones in and maybe kill all of MAXPAX probes. But basically, I would say there is a rare chance that MAXPAX barely defends the opening pressure, takes some damage but isn't dead, but has the gold-based purple gas advantage and it evens out. Much higher chance is he either shuts down Clem's aggression and it just is way too far ahead with this huge mining advantage, or Clem just kills him and it's game over. I think this is a high chance of ending within 6 minutes, is what I'm trying to say. Now, Command Center on the gold. Clem's going to go up there. He sees the gold base. So both players going for gold right now. The Adept coming down here. That's kind of cute, right? He's guarding the inside of his mineral line with the Adept. Reaper will do a bit of grenade stuff there. Gonna slowly remove some of the energy from that shield battery. Now, he does scout the gold base himself. Could build a pylon there to warp across the gap. That is always a possibility. Shield battery loses only 30 energy. It'll regen that very quickly. Reaper just doesn't do enough damage. 2 aliens are being built at a time, as well as 1 Marine. Starport goes down behind this. The Reaper does escape the Adept. Stalker's on top of it, though. Get out of there, mate. There's a lot of little eagle-y birds flying around this map, aren't there? Stargate's on the way for MAXPAX. I would personally go Oracle always in this scenario. Just feeling like you need something that can be aggressive. I feel like the best defense is a good offense on this map. Now, he doesn't have the purple gas yet. I think that purple gas is so powerful because it allows you to, you know, get double mining efficiency. But he hasn't found the room to squeeze that in just yet. Second and third gateway go down, giving him production to stop any sort of dedicated ground push. And Reaper, unable to kill that probe, is going to have to get... Yeah, he's going to get caught. Actually just got blasted off the side of this map down there into the foggy swamps of Dagobah. Ooh, good movement with the probes by MAXPAX. Dude. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, guys. Oh, my. Clem's getting wrecked right now. Now, to be fair, he does have his own gold base. But, dude, he's just traded real bad. 2 probes for 2 aliens and a Reaper. He's going double Cyclone now as well, which means he kind of needs to keep doing damage. Like, he's committed. Yeah, starting a 3rd and 4th Cyclone basically locks Clem into I need do damage. I need to, like, he needs to get out there and shut everything down. Viking and the Marines will push back that Oracle. It's going to take a little bit of damage. Not too bad. Cyclones over there will defend the Stalkers and the Adept. And a 3rd Nexus is on the way, along with Blink. So Oracle into Blink is a very effective play. We've got the purple gas there. Hellions are going to come in. Oh, they can do some damage. 2 more probes do fall. Oh, stacking up that damage. You can't heal everyone at once. I wouldn't have minded that Hellion staying there for a few more shots, but it looks like it is going to give up on it now. 5 Stalkers coming in. Oh, it's enough to 2-shot a Cyclone. Cyclone takes out 1 of the Stalkers, but with a Cyclone falling, he's got to fall back. 3 Cyclones are going to come over there and try to deal with this. Nice little lock-ons will push away some of the units. But it's MAXPAX who can choose when he wants to fight and when he wants to back away. That's a mistake. That's a mistake. That's clearly not a Mana Mule. Even Clem himself is like, oh, God. For those who don't know, the Mana Mule, normally a mule is just for mining. If you drop it on your opponent, it's a way of saying, get out of the game, you suck, basically. Clem misclicked it there and immediately is like, I misclicked. MAXPAX calls BM bad manner. Clem with the ... not happy about losing that mule. Tank and Cyclones are there. Stalker's coming forward. Oh, those big tank shots, man. Oracle coming into the main. The Viking is still there. And once again, the Oracle just has to fly away. We're going to no doubt see charge. It's already queued up. A few more gateways going down. So we're going to go up to at least 6 gateways. Templar Archives as well. So it looks like he might just be favoring this Storm style. I love MAXPAX flexibility. Whenever I put MAXPAX in a box, he always shows that he's capable of playing many different styles. Here we go, Cyclone Marine right there. Stalkers, Oracle rotating around. The tank is the only thing keeping you alive on this gold basis, Clem. If you lose that tank, he could just pick away at you from behind those minerals and use Blink to his delight. With no 3rd command center, it feels like Clem is kind of stuck. MAXPAX is the one who has so many options. Storm, Charge. Like I said, he's on 5 gates now, 3 more coming in. So 8 gate plus Storm and Charge is going to be absolutely delicious. I've been using that a lot, haven't I, lately? Absolutely delicious. I don't know why, man. I think I'm just enjoying food more than ever lately. Just, everything's a food metaphor at this point. Things are either salty or sweet. Things are tasty, delicious, or scrumptious. Stalker's getting picked off. You guys can tell I'm always one depressive streak away from gaining 30 kilograms. Medevac does get picked off there. Stalker blinks away. They do say you can love food too much. Stalker's blinking back. Stalker's trying to get away. Oh man, this is a scary push, but I do think if you can get a Zealot flank on the tanks, this army's going to crumble. There's just not that many Marines in it. And yeah, as MAXPAX comes forward with the Zealots, I think pulling back, maybe Siege here, you might be able to defend that area. Yeah, he tries to set up like a bit of a little ambush area. But remember, there's a Warp Prism, guys. It's got Storm inside it. 3 High Templar with Storm, Zealots and Stalkers. 3rd command center is building, but Clem recovering in this game is so far behind. MAXPAX has a 4th base on the way. How are you possibly going to deal with this 4th when your 3rd hasn't even started floating out? I mean, MAXPAX can just keep expanding, macroing like a monster, and it's going to be a tough road to recovery. Stick out a few zealots there, which is nice. Couple tech labs. Engineering Bay needs to start +1 armor because there's a second forge on the way for Protoss. We haven't even started +1 armor as CLEM. And is CLEM playing single reactor? One reactor, 4 tech labs. Yeah, he's going to go for a very tanky army. It's a bit less vulnerable to Storm, but it also sucks at killing zealots. So he's got 23 Marines now, but that Marine count is not going to be very high compared to Marauders as the game goes on. Marauders only doing, well, they do double damage to armored. Another way of saying that is they do half damage to non-armored units. Storm drop did clip away at the army, quite strong. MAXPAX economy didn't push as hard as I thought he would. I really thought he would chill and macro up from here, but he's trying to get an attack done with this. And to be fair, siege tanks are weak against this. 2 of them aren't siege. The army's well spread. The medevacs low on healing juice. Here we go! MAXPAX going for it right now. A massive engagement. Storm drop does come in, lands across a lot of the army. The bio does quickly pull back, but the tanks have already been taken down. The storm forces the bio back. A massive storm in that bottom left corner. The Archon's adding some oomph, not to mention the force field on the ramp. A big Zealot warp in as he shuffles away from those units on the high ground, and CLEM knows that he's done in that game. A beautiful defense of the gold base from the reverse side by MAXPAX. All right, that was a rough one for CLEM. Those Hellions just did not find the damage, and Battery, Adept, Stalkers, and Oracles shut those Hellions down. It's always going to be rough. Like I said, if you don't get damage with a double gas opening against a dude that's taken a gold base expand with a purple gas, he's going to run away with that game very quickly. Now, for CLEM, he's going for a pretty standard opening. It looks like just a return to 1-Rax expand. MAXPAX probe will come in nice and early, and he's going to probably block that expansion. Now, to be fair, you don't want to block it until about a minute 36. At a minute 36, he could cancel the Marine and build the command center. He didn't cancel the Marine, but he does build the command center. Now, interestingly, CLEM's pulled off gas. 2 workers have come off gas. That's a 3 command center build. I don't think it can be anything else, right? He goes reactor, depot. Because he's gone reactor so early, he can skip the bunker. If you wait to build a factory, then you make the reactor, you can't get 3 Marines in time to deal with the first adept. But if you do it in this order, you can basically just have 3 Marines. And because you've got a ledge here, you don't need a bunker. You can just use the high ground advantage. There we go, 3rd CC. 400 minerals, guys. That's what we were talking about, man. So this is a super greedy build for CLEM. Now, usually you're going to go 2nd and 3rd barracks afterwards. So it's get into 3 racks and kind of go from... Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. What's this? 3-gate. He's 3-gating him. Oh, he's going to build a gateway on the front and a gateway at home. Oh, now you can technically defend this. I remember like a year ago when this 3-gate build got popular, I was like, oh, this should be an auto win. But I've seen 3 command center builds shut this down. The early trades are important though. Like if you lose an adept or 2 for free, really bad for MAXPAX. You're definitely not getting a big advantage off this opening. On the other hand, if you kill a few of these Marines, that could be big. And look at that. The Marines try to come in from behind to trap that adept and get damage. They did get deviated to the right a little bit, so they don't quite get the kill, but that's still good damage. Really good adjustment by CLEM. He's got 3 barracks there. No bunker, though. And no bunker's dangerous. He does have 4 Marines, though. Pull back. Clem, get out of there. That was a bit of a dangerous chase. You don't want to give away any hit points on these Marines, but he does scare him back. 2nd gate's up. Where's the 3rd? 3rd gateway's in the wall off. Interesting. Tech lab's building. No bunker still. Oh, God. So dangerous for CLEM being this far out. If he stays this far out, 3 Stalkers warp in and catch these Marines, it's game over. Oh, no. Get out. CLEM, go home, dude. Go home, man. If he gets all his Marines together, pulls some SCVs, gets a bunker built, he'll be fine. He needs to get that bunker built. The Adepts are shading on top. Stalkers are coming in. He's got to pull the boys. Pull the boys right now. You cannot risk losing these Marines. If the Marines go down, it's game over because you have no firepower. As long as he keeps the Marines alive, though, builds a bunker, there's a chance. The Adept provides high ground vision. If he can kill the Adept, that would be massive. because that Adept Shade gives him high ground vision whenever the Shade's active, but he can't risk running onto the ramp without the Shade, so he's got to wait for it to be ready. That buys a few seconds. Bunker's halfway done. Clem trying to hang on right now. 2 more Adepts coming in. Looks like he's committing fully. The Marines are going to take out these Adepts. Nice moves for Clem. Gets rid of 2 of the Adepts. Pulls back to the high ground. Bunker just mere seconds from finishing. Remember, he's got a 3 command center opening. He can afford to lose 10, 12, 15 SCVs and be okay. His bunker is up. He's got 3 mules dropping at a time. Marauders, Marines, and Stim on the way, not to mention that factory. Honestly, I don't think this has done enough damage to be worth it for MAXPAX, but obviously he's still got chances to try to find something. There's no way he's going to bust a bunker, right? I doubt that. Third Nexus is on the way, Pylon as well. MAXPAX showed a great recovery in game 2 of this series. Clem completely missed his timing to go win in that game. Maybe you can do the same sort of thing. I feel like what we've seen from MAXPAX is keeping Clem busy on his side of the map, and Clem kind of just maybe losing track of where he is in the game sometimes. I'm not saying that's happening this game, but maybe that's what happened back in game 2, and that's kind of why you find Clem now kind of just turtling up, being very safe, but I would like to see him push across this map the moment he gets the opportunity. Depth's trying to shade in. Depot raises, good reactions. 3 commands in his building. Engineering Bay is started there. Gateway on the far right side. Adepts and Stalkers are there. Probes coming down. No sign of splash damage, just a forge. This is a very standard transition. Maybe MAXPAX can jump on some units and find some damage. The Bio Army moves out, leaving that natural a little wide open, but the Marine Marauder runs in. Nice. Yeah, you're only going to get a few SCVs. I mean, he will take out 3 SCVs, but I think that's well worth it for killing 3 Adepts. And he gets rid of the Gateway and the Pylon. Great trade for Clem. MAXPAX finds himself now finally with Blink out. A lot of his Stalkers are at home, though, which is because he just recalled them. Guys, why did he recall? What? Guys, did he misclick recall on his Stalkers? What? It's not just me. He recalled. It's on cooldown. He recalled most of his Stalkers back to his main. But there wasn't even a medevac out. There was no starport even finished until just now. I am so confused. I've got to check this replay at the end of this game. Please remind me if you're watching live in chat. I will try my best. Stalker's trying to pull back. Does take down the Marauder. And yeah, chasing maybe a little far there for Clem, but getting 3 Stalkers ain't half bad. The Stalkers have to be very cautious. Templar Archives is on the way. 3 more gateways as well. So it's going to be 5 gate as he heads towards Storm. Probably wants to go up to 8 gate charge and Storm once again. MAXPAX has the advantage in this series, but Clem, having survived this scary early game, I feel like is taking over. He's got a 4th and 5th barracks. His Engineering Bay has his +1 attack halfway finished. Equal workers is amazing. And honestly, even on Oceanborn, when MAXPAX bought all that time, if Clem didn't eat Storms as bad as he did, he could have won. If he can sneak a double drop into the main base while he pushes the 3rd, MAXPAX will crumble. He just doesn't have the numbers. Like, he needs great Storms to hang on. He doesn't even have Storm started. Oh gosh. He's on Zealot Stalker, guys. He's on just Zealot Stalker. He's not even finding the room to make Storm. Okay, Storm finally starts up, but a little bit delayed. That being said, Clem doesn't show any signs of wanting to move out just yet, and I do like that there's a new observer. He kills 1. New observer sitting right here. I do expect Clem to see that.
Add-on complete.
Let's go to Clem's vision, guys. This is Clem's camera. Spreading his units out. He sees those Stalkers. They clean up a Marine. He starts his +1 armor. 2nd Engineering Bay Armory. Go down. Ghost Academy finished. He's got some Stim Bio in the middle. He's trying to chase those Stalkers away. He doesn't realize that there's an observer right outside between his natural and 3rd. It's right there. We keep skimming past it. It's here, guys. Let's go back to everyone's camera. It's right here now. It's positioned in this little area, but he keeps not noticing it because he's kind of using his camera locations and his hotkeys a lot. Finally sees it and clears that one out. But MAXPAX is being given so much room to breathe. Storm's done. 2nd Forge on the way. Robo Bay on the way. MAXPAX is transitioning up that tech tree. Ghosts are coming in as well as a 4th command center. Clem is not all in by any means, but I do feel like he's giving MAXPAX a lot of room to breathe. He's playing very afraid, partially because those Stalkers and Zealots keep picking off his Marine Scouts. So to be fair, there's a reason why he's this cautious, and that Marine that's being chopped in half is part of the reason why. Stalkers do jump on top. Get out. Careful of the Storm. Clem cops the edge of a storm, and then still stands in just the edge of just outside of the High Templar storm range. It feels like the way Clem plays against Storm, he's just asking to get stormed. And this is why I really advise people to stop copying pro Terrans. If you're an average Joe Terran player, when it comes to army control, do not look at what they do. Terran players at the pro level do things where they set themselves up where if they make small mistakes, it leads to massive consequences. And that's fine if you're Clem and you almost never make those mistakes. But if you're an average Joe and you try to just run at a ball of army with Storm in a big blob, you're not going to react fast enough to spread. You want to spread ahead of time. You want to pre-spread, as we call it. Which sounds kind of dirty, but, you know, it's absolutely something you got to do. Oh, I like this. Goes out for a quad drop, but MAXPAX immediately sees it. So he has to just unload and says, well, at least my army's split now, which is usually what you want in this matchup. Got a big macro game on our hands. Clem is quite far ahead on the supply. He's at double the army supply, honestly. I mean, realistically, MAXPAX's army sucks. But MAXPAX is like acting like he's got a big scary army. This is absolutely an animal rearing up on its hind legs and waving its arms around and acting scary. MAXPAX is right now a guy who's out on a little camping trip. Clem is the bear who's running away confused after the dude just goes, whoa, whoa, and just shouts at the bear and waves his arms around. And the bear's like, I don't know what you are. I'm kind of confused by how you're acting. I'm going to back away. Problem is, if he does back away, that camp is vindictive. And he's going to go get his gun, load it, and come back and hunt you down. Still a little while till that happens. Clem still has a 50 army supply advantage. But he's taking a little while to capitalize. And that does mean mass command center, fusion core, all that stuff needs to come in. He's got a lot of bio in his main. Interesting. 2 Marauders, 5 Marines in the main. Not a bad little squad that could be beefing up his force on the front. I do like this position, though. I do like this position. Half of his army coming in to join from the south. Oh, letting all the probes get out, kind of. There we go. That's good. He does at least catch some of the probes and the Nexus. EMPs could be big. Now, right now, we've got 2 Colossus against 5 Vikings. A few more Vikings would be excellent. Feedback on the Ghost was very nice there. Not to mention the Prism is still in the back, along with lots of High Templar, lots of Storm Energy saved up, waiting. Fusion cores coming in, +1 ship weapons, +3 attack for the bio. Right now, it's 2-1 against 2-1. Dead even on the upgrades. Storm looking for the Storm. Oh, Clem! Clumps up for the Storm a little bit. Oh, was that dangerous micro I was talking about? He runs back in front. He's got to get out of here. He's taken way too much damage from the Colossus and Storm. Great fights for Clem. But it's time to back away and heal up. You've got to give respect. When they have Colossus and Storm, your army can fall apart real quick. So definitely a good choice for him to pull back. This quad drop in the north is just chilling. But because he scanned there, MAXPAX knows. Why would you scan unless you were looking for an observer? Because you want to load up and drop my main? And yeah, MAXPAX isn't really completely checking for it. He's trying to send a few stalkers to look around. But it's going to replace the base, and it is exposed. Clem rotates to the south side. He's got tons of command centers coming up behind it. He's up on 7 barracks. Interesting that players are going 7 instead of 8 racks these days. Guess figuring getting the extra command centers earlier is probably more valuable. Getting that 8th rack's not really the biggest difference maker. Marine Marauder clearing the cannon battery on the south side. Zealot run by does come in on the right. It's a single Zealot. Viking and Bio here, heavily outnumbered. Great storms! Oh, holy moly, those storms just annihilated that army. A lot of the Bio does pick up, but most of the Vikings went down. Clem needs to be building more Vikings and Libs to replace that. Bio goes to the north. Oh, we didn't EMP the Nexus in time, which means the recall will be good. And he's going to fly into full Stalkers. Oh, Clem! Losing 2 full medevacs. Dude, he does EMP and take out the Stalkers, so it's not like it's a free move. Same time on the south side, I think he may have just caught a few more medevacs. I just saw some more blue dots disappear there. He does get 1 medevac out in the north. These guys did escape in the south. Does he have any Vikings? He lost the Vikings. It was the Vikings that got left behind on the left. That's what got picked off there. Big counterattack coming from MAXPAX. Clem doesn't have a lot of time to remax. This was some sloppy fights for Clem. He lost a few too many units. He's got to pull back and gather everything together. He's way outnumbered right now. I don't think he realized that this counterattack would hit quite so hard. 4 Colossus, 6 Archons, 2 Immortals, and a massive Stalker Zealot. Who needs a Warp Prism when you've got a ridiculously sized army? High Templar comes in as well, does get EMP'd. Nice EMPs for Clem. but he's got to siege libs. He's got to get the Vikings in the fight, and the bio is just so vulnerable to the Colossus. The SCVs that get pulled in get hammered down. There's not enough Vikings. If he had 6 or 8 Vikings focus fired, the Colossus could be dead by now, but he wasn't focus firing and only had a few, and MAXPAX is actually going to finish this series off. Can you believe it? MAXPAX with a 3-1. Like I said, Clem does beat him, usually 2 wins for every loss, but it turns out this week, MAXPAX is on fire. And even after that game 1, which I thought would be a real confidence hit to MAXPAX, I thought that would kind of buoy Clem's spirits and really bring him into a very confident game 2, 3, 4. Looks like MAXPAX takes it 3-1.